Welcome back, everybody, to the Star Wars Expanded Universe, narrated by Disney, or Lucasfilm, whichever way you slice it, Legends. Do you see this in my face? Here's what I got for you. Bounty Hunter Wars 2. Slave Ship. KW Jeter. What happens in this phenomenal book? Nothing. Nothing at all. Present day storyline. Boba Fett is working with Dengar and Neela. I remembered her name this time. And they are going somewhere. Where? Would be nice if Boba Fett told us or them, but he doesn't. Because he's cold, mysterious, calculating, doesn't care about anybody else but himself. He's a cool guy with a gun. Just like he was in the films. I don't care. Oh, what's in the past storyline? Well, the Bounty Hunters Guild is split into two factions because in the last book, spoilers for the last book, but why would you be listening to a review of the second book? Bosk killed his father, of course. So now he's got, one section of the Bounty Hunters Guild, there's another, and they're all fighting for a claim. Except, in this book, Bosk and Boba Fett in the past timeline go to work together to stop an ex-stormtrooper or a rogue stormtrooper, something like that, and to get some hard merchandise and to give the stormtrooper to the Spider-Man guy. It's garbage. Oh, what's Zizor up to? Well, he still wants to destroy the Bounty Hunters Guild, and now he wants to kill Boba Fett. That's the only inclusion here, though that was already alluded to in the last book. Oh, and what's that? He's going to go talk to Emperor Palpatine and Vader and have basically the same conversation that he had last time, almost beat for beat. Talk about how he wants to kill Vader, and Palpatine talk about his dead family again, which he just talked about in the last book. There's nothing here. Look, I love character dialogue. There's a lot of dialogue in here. There's a lot of character interactions. I'm a character guy. I'm a character first, story second. You can have a terrible story but have phenomenal character moments, and I'll forgive it. That's how I am. People have dubbed me, at least a few people now, some on Discord, some elsewhere, have dubbed me the find the positives guy. I'm the find the positives in anything guy, even if it's bad. I'm really struggling with this book to find anything of value at all to this series so far. I have one book left. I don't know how it's going to change my opinion of this trilogy, but maybe that last one makes everything worth it. I guess we'll see. But just like with Karen Miller's Stealth and Siege books, there is dialogue, but it's all fluff. It adds nothing, so it is nothing. We don't get any more in-depth with Boba Fett's character. We don't get any more in-depth with Dengar's character. In fact, Dengar doesn't even act like himself. Neither does Zuckuss. He acts nothing like he was portrayed in Tales of the Bounty Hunters. There's no Forlom yet either, which means he got Forlom in only like the last couple years. Bosk is Bosk. He's stupid and an idiot. Trusts Boba Fett even though time and time again Boba Fett backstabs him. Like, I just couldn't care. Like, I kept reading the story. This was homework. This was a chore. This was work that I'm not getting paid for. It's charity. Maybe KW can write good stuff. And maybe this story, if this story was a single novel, maybe it would be decent. But stretching out against 3 books, KD is awful with pacing. He does not know how to pace his books. All these books are awful at pacing. They feel so much longer than they actually are. My brain started hurting midway through it because I was forcing myself to read it. It is so bad. This is so going on my top 10 worst. Unless somehow the 3rd book saves his trilogy. but I don't see that happening. You're like, Alex, why aren't you going further into detail about the story? There's nothing to tell. In the main story, Boba Fett is flying somewhere, and they'll talk a little bit. It's mindless filler talk that means nothing. It doesn't add anything, and then it cuts back to the past where almost nothing is happening there too. Everything I told you already is what happens. Everything else is just fluff. Kuat of Kuat continues to conspire with the Spider-Man dude, and Prince Zizork, you know, in the past is doing his thing. That's it. That's all there is. It's basically the same plot from the last book, slightly advanced. I don't know how hard merchandise is going to say this. I don't think it is. There's a reason nobody talks about it. And I'm glad that I did not read this on my first walkthrough through the expanding universe, or I might have been turned off from it. This book is garbage. The last book is garbage. I'm sorry. These are some of the worst Star Wars books you could ever read. I don't want to ever hear about Denning again when these books exist. They are garbage. That's it. I have nothing else to say. Sorry that I'm so negative. I really try to find the positive. I'll keep repeating that the writing is fine. It's decent. It's not like written badly or anything. Like Kevin J. Anderson kind of is written badly sometimes, but it's fun, and I feel it's a good story, so I don't care ultimately. I can look past it. The thing about me, I don't do like ranks and stuff for books or movies or video games. I kind of follow more of the Lore Runner approach, who's another YouTuber who ascribes sort of this, you know, positives and negatives scale. If the negatives outweigh the positives, then it's a net negative. If it's somewhere in between, then it's neutral. It's okay. And if the positives outweigh the negatives, because nothing's perfect, then it's good. It's simple as that. There's no ranking of 3 to 5, you know. This ranks negative. It's written fine. There's some interesting ideas, interesting character interactions here and there, but those positives are far outweighed by the negatives of the pacing of this book. It is so slow and so boring. Again, I will harken back to the New Jedi Order novel, Traitor. It is nothing but dialogue for 80% of that book. And yet, for most people, they are fully engaged in that story because it's written well. That is it. Next time, I will conclude the trilogy with hard merchandise. And then I can get back to some fun Marvel comics. Till next time, guys. May the Force be with you and with me.